It's above me
It's
now.
above me now. You
It's
can all leave the hotel. It's above me now.
it's above me now. Do you know it? Apparently, according to official reports, it has rained every single day of 2026 in England. I don't know about the rest of these United Kingdoms. Do you say that? But anyway, uh,
Oh my.
it's been like I don't know, man. Like like you see the sun, and then by 5 p.m. you come out of the house and it's drizzling. I'm so tired.
Listen, the sun is here just for decoration purposes. Full stop. Nothing,
Oh,
nothing more. It's just decoration at this rate. It's like Art Attack. Did you used to watch Art Attack when you were younger?
mm-mm.
On ZBC. They used to have Art Attack, and this guy will be drawing sketches and doing like crafts and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what the sun is. One of those crafts of like just circle, paint it, and just put it in the sky.
Oh
That's
my
all it is.
God.
That
Oh,
is all it is.
all I know is that this summer coming like has to be a good summer.
It has to be. There's no
That's
other way.
that's all I know. But yeah, guys, if you guys are listening from the southern hemisphere and you're in the sun and you're like, what are these people talking about? I
It's so
just know
hot.
I am so jealous. I am so jealous of you. But anyway, let's introduce ourselves. Hi guys, you're listening to Chat with Matt. You're listening to sorry.
I've never met anyone that gets flustered by saying their own name. Now that is a record.
Do
That
you know
is.
what do you know why I'm flustered? It's because we're here for a short time, not a long time, right? So in my mind, I'm like, we need to like make this quick, but then again, we need to, produce a proper episode. So okay,
This is
hi
true.
guys. You are listening to Chat with Nat with me, Natasha. My friends call me Nat, so you can too. And we've got here our
Shareholder. Chair, chairperson.
chairperson, chairman, man. We've got here Brian Nunga. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how you doing? How's everybody doing on this beautiful? I guess it's sunny today, so I can say sunny day.
Yeah, well,
If it's cold where you are, if you're in New York, well, tough luck.
I know. Like I've been seeing the snowstorm. What do you think about Mamdani? I never asked you.
Um,
Zohran Mamdani.
I think the problem you have is that with US politics, it's very much been drip fed to the point. First of all, let me dial back, reverse, rewind. I think in terms of propaganda, Americans have been fed propaganda. Do you know how Americans think other countries are sort of, it's just propaganda over there? Like Americans, they have been fed propaganda. Think about it. Even the whole, we're the best country in the world. No, you need to travel a little bit, mate. If you go to Switzerland, you know what efficiency looks like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when the whole capitalism is the best thing ever in the world. Nah, if you go to the Nordic countries, you will see what work-life balance looks like. We don't need 2 weeks holiday only. Healthcare, let's not even go there. But I think in terms of propaganda, they've been fed it big time. And this leads me to think, to say rather, that when you then look at the state of US communist, that's what it is. They have no tangible idea as to what his policies are, and if his policies are to benefit the people in general, it's just seen as
Mm-hmm.
socialism or communism, and as such, with that mindset, it's very hard to thrive. For example, there was something circulating on Twitter a few days ago that he had ordered people to stay home through the snowstorm. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense because no first responder wants to be out there right now. So if he did say that, I'm not 100% sure that he did say that because there was no article anywhere that said that. If he did say that, it makes sense because you're protecting the first responders and just protecting people through a few days of snowstorm. and everyone was up in arms. Oh my God, this is what you get when you vote for communism. They'll tell you what to do. This is what you get when you vote for socialism. They'll tell you what to do. And so American politics is split: capitalism, socialism, communism. Anything that has to do with making everybody better is just in a socialism, communism. What that means, they don't even know. All they know is that America is the greatest country on earth. That's why everything, even everything that happens in America, they sing the national anthem first.
Okay. Are you complimenting my guy or not? Like I'm trying to like I'm like, what a
No,
singing
I am just saying he's stuck in a very tough situation because he's damned if he doesn't, he's damned if he does. He is in a very, very tough situation. Whatever he does, there'll be a group that'll always just look at him and say, these are socialist, communist policies, and therefore he'll never thrive, especially where America is at the moment um with Santan Man. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, no, no, no. But I think I like his approach because he started with like the quick wins, like the he's done like the whole childcare thing. I'm not too sure exactly how it works, but it sounds like there's some help like for working parents. Yeah, I saw him talk about like the buses. I'm not sure whether that's in effect now, but I was like, oh, he's clever because he started with you know some of the major things that were on his manifesto and he's doing it because he knows there's some things he will not be able to do. So people kind of just remember like what you kind of started with, then by year two, three, they kind of leave you to it. Whereas, like, for example, here in this country, I feel like they yeah, I don't know what's happening. Like they haven't taken that approach of just dealing with the quick wins first so that people remember the quick wins. But anyway. Mamdani is an African. Did you watch or anyway, if you haven't, I don't he did a episode with Trevor Noah or
No, I haven't
Mamdani.
seen that. No, I haven't
You
seen that.
need to watch it. It is so cool. And Trevor Noah has one of his friends. I think it's Eugene. I think I've seen him sort of like sidekicking, for a number of episodes. It was so cool because obviously they did the whole like talk about New York, the mayor stuff. This guy is because obviously he grew up in Uganda. He was born in Uganda, lived in Cape Town because his dad was a professor in Cape Town. I feel like he's did a stint in London. I could be wrong, but he's very international. He knows everything. So he was talking to them about Questa, major leagues. This guy knows ball. Like he knows too much. And I was just like, he's the type of person that I feel like we could hang out with, and he would know something. Like if we were to say we're from Zim, he'd be like, "Oh, which city?" And you'd be like, "Well, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, 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 I know." Like, do you know what I mean? Like those type of people, like who he probably would be like, "Oh yeah, my uncle is Rapjis or whoever." Joking.
That is wild. That is wild, Natasha. That is wild. That is wild. Hey, yo, that is wild.
Like he knows ball like that. He'll be like, "Yeah, I know, like I know Alaska." He'll be like, "Yeah, I know the Hassans or whoever. No,
Oh
where
my
we used to get
goodness.
uniforms."
Oh my goodness. I am out. I
Be
am
like, "I
done
know
and
the
out.
Topaz family."
I am done and out.
But anyway, here I am stereotyping. But anyway, before we start, just quickly, just kind of wanted to highlight a few like there's been a few episodes you guys need to check out. I did an episode with Nessa, who's a social worker. Really love that episode. Like we talked about social work, safeguarding. It was quite informative. You guys need to check it out. Some of you came back to me. Shout out to Hetla who came back and she was like, "Oh, it was a beautiful episode," and it reminded her of her previous job as She worked closely with social services. And then we had the dilemmas episode with Brian. One of the dilemmas was, would you, like, if you caught your father-in-law like texting another woman, like, would you spill the beans? Like, people were like, Amanda was like, nah, I'm telling my man, he's the one who can decide about his family dynamics and how he will handle this information because it's above me now.
It's above me now.
Uh, and she was like, although if he's deleting texts, talk about the father-in-law, it might be his word versus yours. So that's where it gets tricky. But I need my man to know what I know in case it all blows up later. And seems like I knew a lot. It's definitely a tricky situation. And then Mimo was like, yo, that's it. And then Mel says, I would stay out of it, to be honest. And then Shirley was like, not even the CIA could get that information out of me. And then there was another episode that I've a recent episode that I put out with Amanda, which is a part two, where we speak in more depth about her filmmaking journey, and the like. So definitely, please check that one out. And then I guess just a few things. What what do we want to start with? Um, Bellarmine, how do you even say that name?
Listen, now the only one that I know is Chatunga. So
That's the same one, I think.
is it?
I think so, right?
Uh, mate, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very good at losing interest in certain things that I think are um bit crazy. I think we're dealing with a couple of kids who are lacking a certain identity. And it's a thing that happens a lot, when your father has a level of prominence or your mother has a level of prominence. You become, a nepo baby, and sometimes it's not a very good thing because it puts you in very strange situations where you you can easily lose focus and sense of what you are in yourself. And those boys are just getting into trouble left, right, center, and it's just getting to a point where it won't be long now, if this continues this way, that one of them is in jail for life, and God forbid one of them is in a much more serious situation where they might be, they might get into the wrong crowd and do the wrong things. I mean, it's already happening. With the case in South Africa at the minute, I think there's evidence. I don't think it's solid in my opinion. Why don't I think it's solid? I think if it was solid, the prosecution service would have actually sent it to the courts way earlier than they did. I think the evidence that's there is enough to have a conversation. Is it enough to have a solid jail sentence? I don't think so. I think a lot of things are still up in the air. They haven't found the weapon. The guy that the gardener is saying he doesn't know who shot the weapon because he is suffering from temporary amnesia all of a sudden. So it's very sketchy, and I don't think it's as clear cut.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just gonna take a step back, just in case there's some people who don't know, like, well, what's happening. So we're talking about one of Robert Mugabe's sons, right? The former president of Zimbabwe. So I'm reading here. This is a BBC article. It's I'll try and paraphrase. It says the youngest son of Zimbabwe's late former president Robert Mugabe has been formally charged with attempted murder, at a brief appearance in a South African court. Bellarmine Mugabe, 28, was arrested last week after a 23-year-old man was shot and injured at a property in an upmarket suburb of Johannesburg last Thursday. He was then taken into custody alongside his bodyguard. Neither man has commented on the charges. This is dated the 23rd of February, so this may change by the time you're listening to it. And then says, yeah, searching the property in Hyde Park where the shooting happened, police have found bullet cartridges, but no firearms so far. Again, things may have changed by the time you listen to this. Yeah, the victim is in hospital in a critical condition, and yeah, like Brian said, apparently he's sort of saying, I don't know, shot me, did I,
What?
did I
What?
get shot?
I never knew that. Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme?
Which one?
Tell me you've seen that meme,
Which one? Which
please. So it's about a sort of a food van in Bristol. They found out they were actually selling like drugs from that food van. So they'll give you a bit of chicken with a slice of with a bit of coke on the side, right? So so one of the guys was being interviewed that was buying there, and they're like, "Did you know this is happening?" And it's like, "What? Me? What? I never knew that." It's like,
I
bro,
mean,
you knew.
like what?
What? I never knew that.
Listen. No, no, no. I haven't seen that. Maybe if you if you send it to me
Okay,
after.
okay.
But yeah, I just think yeah, I've just been watching it unfold, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not invested. Like I literally, I hope I hope there's justice, and I hope this young man who got shot, who they report is a gunner, and I have a very strong suspicion that he's probably Zimbabwean, because of the seeming compliance with, the people that are alleged to have harmed him. So I hope he pulls through, and I hope he's well. Thank God he's alive actually, because
There you
imagine
go.
if he had died, like the story could have easily been spun like to something else, right? Like, you
I
know,
I'll be very honest. I have zero sympathy with those some of those kids, and the reason why I have zero sympathy is because um they have seen
mm,
things over the years. Even when you go back to their mother beating somebody up, a journalist up, and it's not the first time there've been aggressions by the mother here and there. They've seen that. They've been around people that are wanted in South Africa, that are on arrest warrants in South Africa and are chilling in Zim. They've seen all of that, and they
mm,
continue to do daft things. I have zero sympathy. If if they learned from this and became very good citizens, did whatever they were doing, and went from there, I'll be like, fair enough. You know what? You are doing very well for yourself. You've got your own businesses. You're doing A, B, C, and D, but it all just seems like it's just a circle of drugs. When you really look through the history, it's just it's drugs, alcohol, sex, money. That's all it is.
mm,
That
mm.
is all it is. So my sympathies, unfortunately, are very thin. Sympathies, of course, for the guy that was shot. That's not a great situation to be in. But as for the kids, if it goes down for 20 years, I couldn't give a flying monkey, to be honest. I'll be more than okay with that because you've had an opportunity to change your life, but you've done very daft things. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, no, no, I totally hear you. I've never kind of like followed their lives closely, but every time I've kind of seen them, it's obviously like a show of wealth and all that sort of stuff. But then it kind of reminded me of something, right? Um, a number of things, right? In terms of life lessons, hear me out. I think firstly, there's just something about, man, life. I don't know, like when life tries to teach you a lesson, or when life presents you an opportunity to learn, you need to take it and learn, right? Readjust, course correct, whatever the case is, because the lesson will find you in some way or find your children. Like like you cannot shortcut this life thing. Like you literally cannot. Um, and another thing, so this reminded me of, so there's a sermon that I listened to a while back last year, which actually like really like like impacted me. And I know you're already like
I'm like,
but
in what way?
anyway,
I'm interested in what way. How did it impact you?
so it was a teaching, right? By this guy Joshua Selman, and he was talking about inheritance. And listen, it may sound basic, but to me, like when it was broken down, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that obviously that makes sense. But basically, he was just talking about that in like inheritance. People think about inheritance as in leaving wealth and possessions to like the next generation or to family. He was like, no, like inheritance is, yes, leaving your children wealth, possessions, One. Two, it's leaving your children a good name, right? Two. Three, it's leaving your children good connections, right? Four, it's leaving your children good values. And then I'm forgetting the fifth one, right? Because and when it kind of was kind of spelled out that way, was like, of course, because you if you have the possessions and everything, but you don't have good values, how are you even going to maintain? How are you even going to have the character to maintain these things, right? So leaving your children wealth is not enough. And also, that's why we say to people you should retire so that you can sit down with your children and be like, listen, let me tell you about life. These things are designed for a purpose. There's a reason why you need to sit down. Imagine, like, for example, like Obama or all these people who are youngish and have retired. They're spending time doing what? Legacy building. And they're actively doing it, right? Like George Bush is like painting and everything, making us like forget about the Iraq war and everything, right? Now he's like this grandfather. Life is supposed to be like that. There is supposed to be time where you stop like being the president and whatever, and you sit down and you tend to your family so that when you go, you have equipped your family. That didn't happen with the Mugabes, right? That didn't happen.
You
And
think it
what
didn't happen? I said, "Kogi tricks with I did that."
what for 2 weeks? Like he literally that guy was out of power for how long? Like 2 weeks. He had to be forced out. Like that's not a good legacy. Like you know what? One day I want to talk about my experience last year debating Pan-Africanists. Listen, I'm still scarred. And basically, the debate was about whose legacy is better, Mugabe or Mandela. When I tell you, people who are not from Zim, who are Pan-Africanists, love them some Robert Mugabe. You could be there debating and rattling all the facts like, oh, we didn't have food in 2008. We didn't have this and the black. And then
But you see, this is the problem.
yeah.
It's the same of what we learn about the Samora Machels of this world, that they were the guys, they were the solid ones. So when you see it from a distance, the Kwame Nkrumahs, when you see it from a Kenneth Kaundas, see it from a distance, you're just like, yeah, these guys are the ones, the Jeffrey Rawlings, yeah, they were Pan-Africanists, they did this and that, they were the ones, Captain Thomas Sankara. Nobody can say a bad word about Sankara though. All right. All those guys you're looking from a distance, Abacha, yes, they did, right. But when you talk to the people that live there, they'll tell you, listen, it was hard. These people made our lives hard. And it's the same with Mugabe. People reflect from a distance and they don't realize the trouble that everybody went through during the war itself, the liberation war, the stuff that happened that was orchestrated by Mugabe. When you go, obviously, the very obvious one, Guguraundi, orchestrated by Mugabe. All the things that happened during election times, people have died during elections, loads of people, all orchestrated by Mugabe and ZANU PF, right? So when you tell people that um it's difficult sometimes for us to have a level of trust, it's not because we don't want to have that level of trust. We do because we love our peoples, we love our homeland, but it's very difficult because we've seen things that um go beyond the speeches that we see at the UN. We see through all of that. That to us is just, you know, uh, a screen saver, nothing more. We know
Mm,
deep down the laptop is not firing up.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think there's just something about, I guess everyone kind of has a mascot, right? That's kind of what I learned, that sometimes what you're trying to do by telling people or whatever, it's like you're trying to take away their favorite mascot, like their favorite toy, and they need it, right? I mean, for example, I love Michelle Obama. Like, I don't even want to meet her because I like the idea of her, right? Like
Oh,
just
man.
her. Please don't.
No, I get it. I see
Yeah,
it.
but
Sometimes they say don't meet your heroes.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I just like the fact that there is this woman who evokes this feeling in me and who reached this height and whatever. And I can imagine if someone came to me and they're like, "Oh, did you know like that's my mascot, right? Like, don't take that away from me." But yeah, so I think the Mugabe thing is interesting, but I don't know. We'll see. Like the I don't know, something is happening in the atmosphere. Like I think, chickens are coming home to roost in
It
different
bees like
ways.
that. It bees like that sometimes.
It feels like that. And then talking about it was interesting. I think like Chatunga and Prince Andrew got arrested on the same day.
Hey yo, don't even talk about my boy Andrew like that, man.
Your
Free Andrew.
boy, your boy,
You ever
your
seen have you seen
boy.
like all those rappers whenever something happens, a rapper is committed murder and like free my boy.
That's the thing.
Like
That's
what?
the thing. Like people be like, "Oh, free Big Mish, free," and I'm like, "Wait, hold up, hold up. What did these people do? Like before we, when people like on podcasts, oh, free my cousin, so and so, oh, he's in the slammer, like he's doing like 30
25
years."
years.
And I'm like, "Oh, that
You don't
sounds
go
like
25
murder."
years just for slapping somebody.
Like that sounds like these are murder digits. Like what are you on about? But yeah, I think with that whole Epstein thing, oh my god. Did you see that apparently at some point Epstein was Mugabe's investment advisors? Something weird like that.
So you wanted to be involved in this Zim sort of economy revival. So what he wanted to do, two things. First thing was to sort of reintroduce um, a currency in Zim and with the help of the government and see how that works. Now, it's not clear as to was this a conversation that was had with the government or he was just having it with his own peoples. So please don't quote me on this. It is 000% clear. But one thing you also wanted to do was look after Mugabe's estate in terms of his wealth. We all know that he had a few bank accounts in the Panamas of this world and the Switzerland of this world. So those kind of things that he wanted to sort of help with. But yeah, it's listen, yeah, it's at that point now where it's
Mm.
just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I think there's a lot of distraction that's happening, and obviously, like we talked about, like Prince Andrew, like Peter Mandelson in the UK, like there's all these things that are happening, right? Um, and I'm like, okay, great, but I still feel like we're not there. There's so many people still being protected, right?
Yeah,
And I think it's kind of like, okay, let's give them a few people to just so that they can, do
yeah,
podcasts
just
about and talk
yeah, just
about
arrest
and
them for what, 6, 7 hours, release them, and it's
yeah.
under investigation for the next 5 years, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's just like this is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But talk about crazy, because the 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 Epstein topic here, it's above my
It's above me now.
it's above me now. Do you remember like where that whole
Yeah,
thing came from?
that guy. Yeah,
At the
that guy
hotel.
said it's above me now. But I'm good. Funeral. It's above me now.
But do you remember what happened with that? It was the person had booked, but the hotel did this thing of like overbooking.
Yeah, and then started throwing some racial slurs at the boy.
Yeah, miss, it's above me
It's
now.
above me now. You
It's
can all leave the hotel. It's above me now.
it's above me now. Man, listen. Oh God, and talk about memes. I haven't finished this, but I've been watching America's Next Top Model. I don't know if this is of interest to you, but
I've not watched it in so long.
there's a documentary. Oh, I mean, it's not on air anymore. There's now a
Okay.
documentary that is like revisiting stuff that happened on the show. And it's like when you look at it now with the sensitivities that we have in 2026, you're like, oh,
Cringe.
that wasn't yeah, like for example, like there's this girls where Tara's like, oh, okay, you're gonna get like a dental makeover. And then there's a girl who's got a gap in her teeth, and she's just like, yeah, you're gonna have a dental makeover. And when she goes to the dentist, they're obviously they're trying to get her to close the gap, and she's like,
Yeah,
no, I don't want to close my gap, um and because and she's beautiful with it, right? But they wanted her to, and then she was like no, and then when Tyra did the whole like round elimination, she kept her, but then she was like, so are you gonna close the gap in your teeth? So that kind of like was the prize for her to stay on.
that's
Like
wild.
that's just one example. Like it's so wild. And yeah, but obviously this is at a time where like remember like we were having X Factor, and it was like it wasn't even
Raw.
No, what was before Pop Idol? Do you remember Pop
Pop,
Idol?
yeah, I remember Pop Idol and X
Yeah, like
Factor
like when Simon was like at his like most vicious. So it was that time where the real
anything
world,
goes.
you know, um but yeah. But anyway, we'll
Half, I
mhm,
think half of these kids now, these 2000s,
mm,
would not be able to hack um thousands day TV, 2000s day TV. Day
yeah,
TV back in the day was wild, like
yeah,
wild. Even
crazy.
even a show called The Undateables, like why would you call it The Undateables?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I think it's so interesting to me to like it shows me just how much as as a society we have evolved, right? It's so weird being old, man. Like you're like, oh, I remember,
You've seen the growth.
I remember. But anyway, to end off with BAFTAs. Did you
It's been a debate. Let's put it that way. It's been a debate. I've been ruffling furthers left, right, center till someone pretty much accused me of anti-Semitism today, which was the first time I was being told I'm an anti-Semite.
I don't even want to know what you said for that to happen.
My thing was very simple. The debate here is not what was said,
It's how it
because
was
if we
dealt
say
with.
he's got Tourette's syndrome, fine, we can
Yeah.
live with that. But the debate now becomes the BBC. There
Mm-hmm.
was a 2 hour delay
Yep.
in airing the BAFTAs. If
Yeah.
there's a 2 hour delay and they can bleep out um,
Free
Free
Palestine.
Palestine,
Mm-hmm.
why can't you bleep out the N word?
Exactly.
And then someone tried to justify it with that it's because it came from the crowd. If you bleep it, it then will bleep what the presenters are saying.
It
And I
was
say
silent.
that's totally not
Yeah.
acceptable either way. There
Yeah.
was a moment where there was a good few-second gap that could have
Yeah.
killed that
Yep.
totally. And the reason why shows every live show in this world
Yeah.
is delayed by a split second.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's delayed by a split second is so that they can dump things. In the
Yeah.
industry, it's called dumping. They can
Yeah.
dump things that are generally unacceptable.
Yeah.
That is the whole point of it. Or
Yeah.
cut if something starts going wrong.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
whole point of having that split second delay. A
Mm.
lot of things are dumped each and every day. Football
Yeah.
matches, the swearing next to those microphones is dumped 4 or 5 times, a few minutes every 10 minutes, 4 or 5 times every ten
Mm.
minutes. Yes,
Mm.
sometimes we hear one or two, but that one or two would have dumped 20 others.
Yeah.
Right? Dumping is a thing in live television
Mm.
where you know this is not right, you dump it. Dumping is a thing in live radio where
Mm.
right now, if I call up any live radio station and I say
Mm.
something that's off, they will dump me before it
Mm.
goes live, and that
Mm.
part will just be cut out. And the
Mm.
presenter will then say, no, that's unacceptable, and we'll move on,
Mm.
just in case there
Mm.
was a low delay. So it's unacceptable for the BBC. There's no justification whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it shows that generally there's two parts to this. One, they think we're mugs, big
Mm.
mugs.
Mm.
Secondly, Lati Wizenskat maybe we're mugs by the way we
Mm.
we we portray ourselves to the world.
Mm.
Because there's some moments where I think we've portrayed ourselves so much that now whenever we have an outrage, we've lost our meaning because
Mm.
the way we've portrayed ourselves. But I'll counter myself and say our biggest problem in this
Mm.
world for black people and black people, I'll call it black people liberation. Let me be Pan African for 5 minutes of my time. Our biggest problem is white liberals. I take back what I said about us portraying ourselves.
Hmm.
Now that I really think about it deeply, it is
Hmm.
not us, it is the white liberals that portray us the wrong way.
Um,
Yes, every struggle needs allies, 1000%. But we have overzealous white liberals who actually ruin the struggle and the movement for us. Because anything that happens sometimes, that's racist. Love, I'm black. I know that's not racist. You're talking on my behalf now. All right. So when then now I say that's racist to something that is actually racist, it's like, yeah, but you're always crying racism. It's like, but I haven't. It's those three other guys that have said it for me. I don't know,
yeah,
man. I'm just gonna
yeah.
keep quiet. Maybe I'm saying
No,
too much,
I,
but
I, 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 I absolutely hear you, and there's a lot that we can unpack with that. I, yeah, man. I think. But what was also interesting to me is how some people all of a sudden became like disability advocates. Like they became
oh,
like
and this is
the
why I'm
tour
saying I was throwing punches in
like Nick
Natasha.
Ferrari, like all these right
To
wingers.
be fair to Nick, when I listened to him today, yesterday was a bit mild, but when I listened a bit today, he was actually very like, yeah, this is weird. He was like,
Mm,
this doesn't make sense. And
mm,
and 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 it keeps going back to that thing that this is not about this man and his Tourette syndrome. Fine, you got your Tourette syndrome, do your
yeah,
thing. All right? That's
yeah,
cool. The point is, one, because you're Tourette syndrome and you say something offensive, doesn't
yeah.
mean that we have no right to be offended, firstly.
Exactly.
We do
Yeah,
have a right to be offended.
yeah,
Secondly, it's the BBC for it to be mass broadcast. Why did they have to do that? They can blip everything else out, but they
yeah,
leave that. They clearly think we're mugs.
yeah.
I'm telling you, they think
And
we're mugs.
and today I saw something where it says that apparently the execs at Warner Brothers, right, when that happened, because I'm sure some of them were in the room,
Yeah.
like they immediately went like to the BBC staff and were like, "Can you make sure that this is cut out?" Right?
Oh, that makes it
Warner
even
Bros. So
worse.
now it's escalated because obviously they're now saying we spoke to them and we were assured that it would be cut out, right? And it wasn't. So this thing is we're not hearing the end of it because Michael B. Jordan is like the next Tom Cruise,
Take
right?
Michael B. Jordan out for a second. Even
Yeah.
my man, what's it? I've gone
Delroy
blank.
Lindo.
That's a legend right
That's
there.
a legend, absolutely. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
some respect. Put some respect on my man.
Exactly. And the thing is, I felt so bad for Delroy Lindo because there's been this whole conversation about because you know he was born in Lewisham, he was
Yeah,
born in England, but I think he went to America when he was 8 or something, right? So, I mean, of course, he's American, right?
yeah, yeah,
But you know, British people they like doing that thing of like, oh my God, you've made it. Oh my God, you know,
yeah.
you're
Not
British.
ours.
Exactly. But he's kind of like been like yeah, like listen, I was born in Lewisham, but I'm not basically without saying it, he's been like saying, don't claim me, right? And then he comes back home, whatever that means, right? And obviously everyone's like, oh my God, they're trying to kind of make him like, oh, he's black British, and they're asking him all these questions like, oh, what British talent would you like to work with? Or whatever. And then for that to happen, I think he was like, see, this is why I don't mess with this place, right?
I think my biggest problem now is that had it been any other movement,
Mm.
I say this very cautiously. If you get, if you don't get it, forget about it. What does that guy say?
If you
You
don't
don't
get
get
it,
it,
forget about it. Yeah.
forget about it. Eh? If it was any other movement, we would be sitting here saying the BAFTAs are cooked. We'll be sitting here saying that next year, people that are attending the BAFTAs in terms of superstars, there won't be a lot. And that might cook the BAFTAs going
Yeah.
forward. But because it's us,
Mm.
that's not happening, unfortunately. Because the BAFTAs should be cooked after this. Imagine
Mm.
if it said something to a certain group of people
Mm.
that shouldn't be
This
said.
this this is where your claim was made.
No, my claim was you can't blip out one and leave the other. You can't. And then
Oh, okay.
the counterclaim to that
Mm.
was, well, this person is talking about people that want to exterminate us. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point here is about The fact that there's two of offensive things, whether you agree with it or not, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. But there's a group that finds both of those things offensive. There will be a group that will
yeah.
find it offensive, so it should be blipped out. It's like, yeah, no, but you're an anti-Semite. Okay, thank you.
See, my issue, right? So yesterday I was actually on the day after, which is a show on the new Black, which
Yes.
Brian and I will be on anyway, but we'll get to
We'll talk
that. We'll
about that.
get to
We'll
that.
talk about
So
that
it's
one.
it's 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 a morning show live on YouTube, right? So I called in, right? And I was kind of like debating with some of the guys on there on the Discord because I was like, my issue is why are you guys first responders? Why are you first on the scene? Like, especially like these black British people, like, oh no. Two things can be correct. Like, I'm like, why are you like why are you people like so that's why like the Americans were like calling black British people all sorts because I'm just like okay yeah I get it right but why are you like first responders because these people if anything happens to like a black person you're not gonna get masses of people calling up LBC saying oh no but you need to understand this I'm like nah like
Yeah.
we understand there's context, but why are you first on the scene? Like there was this guy called Latif. Like if you were on X, like he was literally the first responder to be like, no, like don't do anything to Masa, whatever, right?
Anything too much.
To block him because I was just like so done with you because allow people to just be like, oh, okay, and oh, yes, we will learn, right? But the whole like, oh, and then it made me realize that people don't realize just how sophisticated and how whatever like black British racism is that it makes you an ambassador of it
Oh.
yourself,
If
you
you're the
know?
one waving the flags, yeah, you'll be the Peter Mandelson for it. And
Exactly.
and it's a shame really because it goes back to my saying that it gets to a point then when you actually have a serious grievance, it's nullified. And this is what I was trying to pinpoint on some of the actions that we have. Well, we've got people that defend this, and you think this you can't defend this. Everyone has a right to be offended, right? We can accept that, yes, there's a disability involved there,
Of
fine.
course, yeah.
But we have a right to be offended as a group
Yeah.
of people to say that is not right. And if it's
Hmm.
not right, what then did we do, unintentionally or intentionally?
Yeah,
What then did we do as a society to fix that? In
exactly.
this case, it was the broadcast by the BBC. It was done in a very awful manner. There was no taste whatsoever.
Yeah.
If people from Israel can be offended by Free Palestine,
Hmm.
fine, bleep it
Hmm.
out. Cool. But if you're going to do that, make sure you do exactly the same with every other thing that people can be offended by. You can't
Yeah.
let one fly and leave the rest. And that is just my argument in general.
And what I hated was that, like, the number of people I had to block on X, I was like, oh, I realized why I don't mess with that platform anymore. Because literally, it was like all these people who all of a sudden are like, no. Tourette's, that, right? And kind of like minimizing black people what we're saying and I was just like oh I don't like this and another thing I didn't like was that everyone's response was like that's why you need to go and watch the documentary like the
Yeah,
film that I
exactly. Yeah,
swear
go watch the film. That's what it was
like,
about. What's wrong with you? Like, okay. Uh,
like this is sounding like some kind of setup like why do I have to watch this I'm
Go watch
sounding
it.
so
Oh my God.
ignorant.
Why you not watching it? Go watch it. This actually underpins what we're talking about. It really underpins the whole like people need to be aware of what Tourette's is. Man, I'm aware of what Tourette's is. All I'm just saying is it's okay for us to get an apology. It's okay for the BBC to fix things. And it's okay for them to bleep it. It's not okay for them not to bleep it. Yeah, yeah, you guys don't know anything about disabilities. Oh, shut up. You can
Listen,
tell this thing wound me up a little bit.
no, listen, and that's how I ended up being on. Like, listen, It sounds like we were doing the same thing across different settings yesterday because I was on there like with this, but fortunately, like the chat on like the day after, but they were like, "Yes, go Nat." Although some people were like, "Oh, what is she on about?" I was like, guys, like, what the heck? What the heck? But
And then
listen,
someone had the nerve actually to say, "Well, I really don't understand because if I go to a record shop right now and buy a record that's got the word all over, does that make me racist?" I'm like, shut up. Shut up. You need to learn the difference between someone saying a racial slur to somebody to offend them, plus
yeah,
somebody trying to claim something rightly or wrongly. They're trying to claim
yeah,
the word within themselves as a
yeah.
community to do whatever they want with it. If they put it on a record and you go buy it and then you go blast it out, trying to cause offense, then you're an idiot. But if you buy it because you enjoy the music, then power to you. Just
Oh
listen to it and shut up. It's not hard. It's
my
really not that
goodness.
hard. Yeah, I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just old and I'm just yeah. I just don't get it anymore. This world has gone cuckoo, gone crazy. I just think it's a word and people should be okay with it. Like, shut up, man. What are you talking about? Big man like you. You're in your 50s, 60s, and you're talking about it's just a word and people should be okay with it. Yet, when you were a teenager going through it, you knew the struggles and the troubles that people were going through. Or you're that daft that you didn't even want to associate with anything along them lines. Anyway,
Nah.
there we go.
Hussa. Hussa. But anyway, um, we've stayed on for way too long. But I wanted to say, so Brian and I, we need to come up with a song. I say
Oh,
cake,
so
you say carrot cake. Okay.
carrot.
How do you say the people? Oh, okay, sorry. Audio people, you're having such a bad experience because I'm not linking this properly. Okay, so Brian and I are going to have. We're going to what are we doing? We've
Well, we'll have
got a
a
radio
show
show.
that will be coming live via YouTube,
Yeah.
via Discord and other various channels right across the globe, and will be part of a setup called the New Black. And within that
Yes.
setup, they've got sort of a channel called the Pulse, and within the Pulse will be different various shows, and we have a show there called Cape to Cairo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we will be bringing you the headlines and stories from the tip of the African continent to the crown of the African continent. And some of you guys who've been here for a while, you will remember that Brian used to do like, like the headlines. So guys, we are growing. So the New Black is an exciting platform.
Yeah.
We'll definitely share like once it all starts, hopefully like spring of this year. They have a number of shows like with people like if you're familiar with like black British personalities, people like Kelechi, she's going to have a show on the New Black. People like Audrey from The Receipts, she's going to have a show on the New Black. Different people, some of it will be entertainment, and yeah, and you'll have an opportunity to live stream, and then there'll be some content which will be like locked for members. But yeah, it's really exciting for us because yeah, it's just an opportunity to speak to a new crowd, and hopefully some of you will come along with us. We
Not
will
some of
still
you, you all have to come along because it's still part of the journey.
absolutely. I mean, we'll still be doing chat with Nat, and hopefully Brian won't be too busy for us. So we'll still be doing that, and we'll be doing it. But that'll be interesting because they've got the infrastructure, so you guys can call in, and like it'll be really, really exciting. And like, I mean, not to say. Yeah, I mean, not to kind of preempt because we don't know, we haven't made plans, but where we'll be recording, like there's a space in central London. So at some point, hopefully you guys we can like hang out, right? Like summertime, stuff like that. We can use the space. So but we'll let you know, but just to kind of get you thinking and whatever, Wooty. please save some coins for one of these weekends, these 2026 summer weekends. But yeah, that's it. How you excited, Brian?
Yeah, of course. New space, new everything. So it'll
Yeah.
be good to really branch out, bring some of our guys with us, and just grow in a different direction, but with the same sort of group of people. That would be nice. I'm excited for that, especially the guys that tune in week out and enjoy what you give them. So it'd be nice to see them on the other side where we can actually have that interactive contribution and have those conversations together. And that's what it's about, right? It's about us having those interactive contributions together as a group. And for example, now we've just been speaking about the BAFTA thing. It would be nice for us to all call in, contribute to that, and have those conversations. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we're growing, and that's nice. Love it for you, Natasha.
Yeah. Angeke bayivale yonke iminyango.
Oh my gosh, I am done for the day. I'm out. I am out.
Brian, thank you so much. Guys at home, thank you. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Share and everything. We're growing. And yeah, comment, like, share, subscribe, and everything. And
beautiful things.
yes, goodbye. Lisa le kuhle.
Sayonara. Bye bye.